Eclipse-Assisted Change. We're currently in an intra-eclipse time. 3 eclipses all in a row for that matter, spaced 2 weeks apart. Theoretically, we should be, or we can be, more sensitive to our inner changes during this time. At least that's what the Tibetans point out. As they say, eclipses are times to observe our mind stream with more care. Why? Because things are happening now if we will just look or learn to look. And what is happening is simply change. And change is what fuels creativity. Now, by definition, change of any kind marks instability of the status quo, the way things are. Because life is once again in flux. And that fact impacts the way things are. It changes the status quo. This means that things are not going to be going on the way they've been going on. Things are changing. I'm reminded of the line in the Dylan tune, Ballad of a Thin Man. And the line is, quote, "Something is happening here, but you don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones?" End quote. If we're passive, I guess we just wait to see how changes turn out, for better or for worse. But that's not something that we would dare to do if we were driving a car, wait to see how things turn out. Instead, we would have to drive the car. What makes us think that change is any different and has to be waited out? Yes, I understand that change can be uncomfortable, sometimes unsettling, having my deck shuffled right before my eyes. But change is also a chance. When things change, a little bit of chaos, unpredictably, is interjected into our sense of order. Most of us just keep our heads down and kind of wait it out when change comes. But there are alternatives. By definition, change shakes us up. It changes the status quo and brings with it uncertainty. Uncertainty that things will stay the same. It's for sure. Sometimes that's a good thing. We may want or need things to change. And by being aware, we can to some degree even guide our choices in times of change, or at least how we take the changes. The energy of change during eclipse times does not last forever, so it's best to use it while we have it. When it has run its course, the status quo will kind of creep back in again and reassert itself. You can count on it. Things will shrink back to normal, but perhaps to a new normal. But change will be gone, and the opportunity for changing things will also become more difficult. This increased time of solar activity, that we find at eclipse times or solar flares, somehow produces gaps or opening in our everyday life, chinks in our armor, the armor of ourself, and opportunities for change. Sure, we can hunker down, wait for change to pass, and that's what we usually do. But we can also meet change head on. We can learn to use it to change things more toward how we would like them. We can drive the car ourselves. Change is a time of it's a time for activity, not inactivity. Don't wait it out. And sure, at times of change, everything can be a little more upsetting. I mean, anything can happen when the energy of change is injected into what is normally relatively unchanging. Things suddenly move and shift around in there, often seemingly anyway, but not always beyond our control. Many of us are waiting and secretly hoping for change. As for me, I always look forward to these eclipse times because they are so creative. change is the wild card that trumps the status quo. And change is really democratic. In the whirlwind of subtle inner changes at these times, things once again become possible that I had all but given up hope of. So eclipse-assisted change means that I may just be able to do an about-face and to start to march to a different drummer. And with a little help, I can change. And I'm reminded of the old Latin slogan, Carpe Diem, which simply means seize the day.